All right, we're going no notes today, okay, Kev? We're just gonna fly by the seat of our tails. Is everything rolling? Is everything good? We're good? Are we good? You got your treats? You're welcome. By the way, never says thank you. Never says thank you. Is this camera rolling? I don't know, I can't tell. What's up, guys? It's episode 38. It's 38. It's episode 38. Dude, this is insane. You know that Alex Hermosi guy? He's got good things to say. He's got great things to say. That dude's a good dude. I don't even know what businesses he's done, but man, does he know a lot about business and life. He just knows. So, dude, can you not throw your treats on me? Here, Here, there you go. He was reiterating the fact that I had heard before that only 1% of people with podcasts go past 21 episodes. Isn't that insane? And he was talking about how it's less about succeeding and more about just not quitting. Paraphrasing him is not really working out for me because he says things so eloquently, right? Like he's almost a robot in the sense that he's been programmed to say the most inspirational things that have ever been uttered by a human. This dude's not from Earth. And I'm super into it. Dude, Alex Hermosi's not from Earth. It's almost like he's been observing Earth for millennia, many millennia, and he's seen exactly what everybody's doing wrong, and he's like, here's how to fix it. And then he just tells us. And if we would just listen, we'd probably all be billionaires. But we don't, because we got to keep scrolling, because there's probably a cat video on after that inspirational reel. So we got to just keep looking for the cats. We're like, you're right. It isn't about success. It's about not quitting. Okay, anyway. Look at that cat. Look at that fat orange cat on that podcast. Hey, that cat's co-hosting that podcast. Look at that fatty cakes, fat orange cat. What on earth was I saying? Anyway, it's episode 38. And let me tell you something. I don't like talking about boring topics, right? When I'm talking with friends, when I'm out with people, I don't like to talk about the weather because it's so boring. Can you not rub your face on my tripod? Because it's making my camera shake. And everybody's going to think that I'm caught in an earthquake, which I'm not. Are you coming over here? Or are you staying? What are you doing? Thank you. I don't like to talk about the weather because I can't think of anything more boring. I don't like to talk about the height of other people's children. This is what parents love to stand around and look at their kids and be like, oh my gosh, she's so tall. And I'll be like, you're right, she is very tall. Wow. And how old is she? She's only 7. And she's that tall for her age? She sure is. Wow. So boring. Don't like talking about the weather. Don't like talking about the height of children. And I don't like talking about traffic and construction. But let me tell you right now, the entire city of Las Vegas is under construction. For no reason. I haven't seen a single bit of actual work being done at all. And it's throughout the whole city. We have so much traffic, it's bonkers. You would think that they would have done all of this preparation for the Super Bowl or F1 or whatever, and we're like, yo, it's good city, go ahead and tear up, it's fine, resurface things, drill under our roads, whatever you got to do in preparation for these giant events that are really good for the city. And girl Kevin's just pooping right there, just really loud, scratching at her litter box, you're really throwing me off with that. You're really throwing me off. I'm not doing notes today, so I really got to focus. Oh, this camera angle is all wrong. Hold on, I got to fix the camera angle. This is all wrong. This is supposed to be that way. Much better. Anyway, but those events are over, right? We had the Super Bowl. Usher was the halftime show, and he was like, yeah. Kevin hates my Usher impression. He just immediately sprinted away. So we had the Super Bowl, great success. We had the F1 race, mostly great success. Everything was awesome. But then here we are. The city is under construction as if it was the scene of the last Avengers movie. Okay? Hey, no excuse for this many cones and this much construction throughout the whole city unless Ultron was here. Hey, was Ultron here? Did Loki summon a bunch of robot alien monsters from the clouds to descend upon Las Vegas for an epic Act 3 battle? Did the Hulk just slam his fists into all the roads and just drag his fists just with concrete flying like, is he smashing up our city? Then you don't get this many cones, okay? You can't do this much construction unless there was an Avengers battle. Unless King Kong himself needs to be picking up buildings and smashing them into our roads to justify this much construction. This is insane. But as far as I can remember, Ultron was not here. And there has been no Avengers battle. And the Hulk has not smashed up our roads. So what you doing? What are they doing? There's a road next to us that I'm pretty sure they're just f***ing with us. And I will bleep that gladly. They're just messing with us because every day that I'm on this road, they move the cones in a different position. You know, sometimes those Mario Kart tracks where like it's a different course on lap 2 and lap 3 than it was lap 1. They're like throwing you off. Like, oh, you thought you had the course memorized in lap 1? Well, guess what? Lap 2. Now you got to go a different way. Like the track's just moving and you're like, I'm just going to adapt while just getting hit in the face with banana peels and green shells. And you're getting just booty bumped out of the way by Bowser. That's this road next to my house. Just every day they just move the cones and I'm like, there's something greater going on here. There is something deeper at work, some kind of mysterious power. Now Kevin is pooping. Do you guys, it's like they wait, I swear to God. It's like they wait until the cameras are rolling before they queue up for the litter box and then they just go to town. They're like, this is the time. This is the ideal time. When mom's got the cameras rolling and the microphone's hot, now we poop. Now we poop. Hashtag now we poop. So anyway, King Kong has not smashed any buildings. Godzilla's tail has not just taken out full city blocks. Ultron wasn't here. And yet, the whole city is just completely under construction. So that's just really grinded my gears. And we're like, you know what makes me want to play Frisbee with my circular saw blade? What is that from? What comedian said that? I can't remember. Can't believe I don't remember. Anyway, great news. I have discovered the secret to happiness. Recently. I've discovered it. It's done. I figured it out. Now I'm like Alex Hermosi. Now I can go online and start talking like one of these inspirational influencers by saying things because I've now discovered the secret to happiness. Or maybe the secret to like self-satisfaction, which leads to happiness. I'm not really sure how to categorize it yet. It's a recent epiphany. And so, I'm still sorting things out. But I'm real close to being able to put like a quote in front of a pretty background as a video with nice music playing on Instagram that says like, in order for yourself to love, you must first love yourself. Read that again. And then people are like, what? Save. Save the post. Save under inspirational posts. Right next to travel posts. Remember when I did that whole rant about travel posts? That was so funny. I don't think people thought it was as funny as I thought it was. I'm going to play that right now. And you be the judge. I bet like 99% of Instagram users have a whole folder on Instagram full of saved posts titled travel.
Top 5 luxury hotels to stay in Switzerland.
Oh, yes, I'm definitely going to stay in one of these luxury hotels when I go to Switzerland, which is a place I've never been to and certainly cannot afford to go to anytime soon. Yeah, I'll save that. I will definitely want to look back on this. I certainly cannot just Google search it at the time when I need it. I'll need to save it now. If I go to Switzerland, I'm gonna stay in some dude named Jurgen's Airbnb apartment that has like a great view of the bus stop, if I'm lucky. So anyway, I'm basically an inspirational influencer right now. And I can say things like, if you question your training, you are only training yourself to ask questions. Read that again. Dude, I hate posts that say, read that again. I hate it. Because then now I'm mad that I read it the first time. Now I'm mad that I read it the first time. And also, so many of these quotes, they're just by like some guy, right? They're not like Gandhi didn't say it. And then even if you put like dash Gandhi at the end of a quote, nobody's looking it up. You can say whatever you want. But it could just be like Joe from 7-Eleven was like, I can't even think of one. Gosh, it's almost like the Sphinx from Mystery Men. Oh my gosh, remember Mystery Men with Kel Mitchell was in it, and Hank Azaria and Ben Stiller. Oh my gosh, that show was amazing. But anyway, they're like this band of superheroes, and their wise trainers name is the Sphinx, and he just says all of these ridiculous things like the one I just said about the training, and then like you must reach with every limb like a octopus playing the drums or something like that. I don't know, but it's super funny. Anyway, I'm so close to being able to say that because I discovered the secret to happiness. That's what this rant is really all about. When it got off the rails for a second, but I've discovered it, and I'm going to share it with you for free. I'm going to share I'm going to share it with you for free. So we're going to get a little deep on this podcast today. We're going to dive deep. Cause I had an incredible weekend, and that's what spurred all of this. So I had an insane weekend where I played 6 shows in 4 days. Over the course of 4 days, I played 6 live shows. On Friday, I started at the country club, and I sang with one band called the Full Betsy, where I'm in a very sparkly dress. I'm in high heels. I'm singing covers like Alanis Morissette and Lady Gaga. And, hey, yeah, I said, hey, what's going on? And I sing it exactly like I just did. No, I don't. I sing it much better. So I started there on Friday at like 6 p.m. And then after that, I jumped in the car. I'm doing my makeup in the car. I'm throwing my metal stuff on, the stuff I wear for Von Bolt, all my like goth jewelry. And then I rush to a rock and roll venue called Vamped here in Vegas. And I really only have like 30 minutes before I jump on stage and do a full set with Von Bolt. That's already 2 bands in one night. That's already insane. But then later in the night, the headliner at Vamped was Velvet Chains, a band full of people who are very good friends of ours. They're super talented. We love them. Their singer, Ro, just had vocal surgery, and so he was on vocal rest. And they needed somebody to step in and do a solo so that he could just like chill backstage in the middle of their super long set. And they picked me. They asked me to do it. I was super honored. And I sang Bullet with Butterfly Wings by Smashing Pumpkins. What do I get? And I killed it. I did great. And then I went home at like 2 a.m. and I was so tired. Oh my gosh, I was so tired. But 2 days later, on Sunday, I was doing it again. So on Sunday, fast forward, then on Sunday, I opened for myself. I started the night. It was at Craft House. There's a brewery here in town, which if you're a beer nerd, if you're a beer snob, dude, they have the best beer. Like, look up Craft House. They're so good. So I have this is one of they came out with this beer called Psycho Beer a long time ago. And I don't think they make it anymore, but it was so insane, dude. If you can ever find Psycho Beer, get you some of that. But they were throwing a big party downtown. And so first I sang with it was kind of like a Misfits cover band, like a tribute band. They're called the Punk Tribute Authority, the PTA, and they're the house band for the Punk Rock Museum. And they don't always do Misfits, but this kind of iteration of their band right now is doing Misfits. And their usual singer couldn't make it, so they asked me and James to kind of like tag team, like sing all the songs. And then Von Bolt went on right after that. So I started, and I'll show little clips. I started with the PTA, being Danzig, like I explained last week, because I'm Danzig. I was one mesh shirt and a power stance away from being Danzig. Sang with them. And then I did a whole Von Bolt set. So let me show a couple clips of that. During that short break, I drank wrong and I was choking on my own beverage. Sweet. Hey, don't rub your face on the tripod. Either come be part of the show or don't be, but don't mess with the equipment. You know better than this. You are looking extra fluffy today. You good kitty. So anyway, so then after Sunday, the PTA, the Misfits band that I played with, they were like, hey, there's a private party at the Punk Rock Museum on Monday. Can we do this again? Like, can you guys be Danzig again and come sing with us? And we're like, hell yeah. And then that was like insane. So then we played on Monday night. And that was my last show. So that's 6 performances in 4 days. And let me tell you, I was so tired. Somehow my voice was fine through all of it. But I was so tired. But I got to tell you, man, can you stop when you shake? When you're on my podcast set and you do your thing where you're a cat and you shake because you probably got things wrong with your ears that I haven't addressed. Could be my fault. Not going to blame myself. Probably going to just blame you for being dirty and gross. When you shake, because you got crap in your ears that you probably have, probably your fault, you shake my entire podcast set, including my microphone. I'm just saying it's kind of disrespectful. And don't eat that. Don't eat that plant. Also, I love you. You're a good cat. Where was I? Okay, so, but because I did all of that, I had this realization, reflecting on all of it, that those were some serious core memories, right? Like, especially like Monday night at the Punk Rock Museum. You know, I'm at this museum. I'm surrounded by all of this punk rock memorabilia, this history. I mean, Lemmy's ashes are like 20 feet away from me. Lemmy is a god, right? We all know this. Lemmy is God. He is the lead singer of Motorhead. He's passed away, sadly. Ace of Spades, Ace of Spades. That was a pretty good impression, actually. But he's like one of the biggest figures in rock and roll, and like some of his ashes are in the museum and they're like 20 feet away from me. I'm like singing at the museum, right? I'm with Lemmy basically. I'm basically performing with Lemmy, right? No, but like all the stuff, they got the couch that Kurt Cobain chilled on. They have like one of Nirvana's Grammys there. I think it's Nirvana's Grammy. They have like everybody's guitars, from the Buzzcocks, the Damned, to the Green Day and Blink-182 and NoFX and Pennywise, and they have the whole Pennywise garage set up there. And if you don't listen to punk music, then none of this means anything to you. It's like I'm speaking another language. But these are all very famous punk rock bands. So to be able to sing like at the museum, surrounded by all of that, with the members of the band who have all been in punk bands themselves, it was a cool moment. And best of all, I didn't screw it up. It was the pressure that I felt before every show. I didn't really have time to focus on the pressure or the nerves because I just had to get it done, right? When you're performing 6 shows over the course of 4 days, you just got to get it done. It's a job at that point. You're like, okay, You know, like I actually don't have time to take 5 minutes to just like go crap my pants and cry in the bathroom and get all the nerves out and just vomit in a trash can. I don't have time for that. I don't have time to vomit right now. Why do I want that on a t-shirt? I don't have time to vomit right now. But I didn't. I just had to get it done. And it wasn't until I was laying in bed on Monday after all of it that I was really just like, that was a really cool thing that I did. And it made me think about all of these times in my life where there was a lot of pressure on a particular situation, and I stepped up. There have been times in my life where there was pressure and I had a big thing to do and I didn't come through. You know, like I did mess up, you know, if it was a performance, I did mess up the lyrics or I messed up my lines or whatever. I definitely have some failures in my life, but the whole weekend really made me think about these like core moments in life. And I think that I figured out that the secret to happiness is pushing yourself to do things that you didn't know you could do. Wow. I don't know if you can hear that. Did you see me? I took a moment. I'm like, I'm going to say something profound right now. Here we go. And then the dog comes through the dog door. Just clunk, clunk, clunk. Totally throws me off. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that I think that the secret to happiness is these moments where you push yourself to do something that you didn't know you could do, and then being able to step up and do it anyway. And not just do the thing, which is already great, but to even exceed, you know? Those are the moments where you can be so proud of yourself. And you're going to remember those for the rest of your life. And I kind of like live for these moments, right? The earliest example of this is when I was a kid. So I used to do dance competitions, and I believe I won my first place trophy in a dance competition when I want to say I was 4 or 5. I was really small. If I can find the picture of that dance that I did, I will show it on the screen if I can find it. But I was super small. And I remember that for that particular competition, we were running late. There was traffic. Maybe there was an Avengers battle in Spokane. And so the whole city was under construction because maybe the Hulk just smashed up all the roads. Maybe Ultron was there. I don't know. But I know that we ran into traffic and we were almost late for the competition. So they like pulled it. My mom like, it's like our Astro van on 2 wheels. And she like grabs me like, come on. And we like run to the stage. And I remember just kind of getting pushed on stage, right? Like, go. And then like the music starts. And I crushed it. And I think I was like 4 or 5. Again, like didn't have time to be nervous. It was just like, that was at the age where you just have such little context for anything, right? I love that meme where it's like, kids have no context. We moved from one house to the other and my 5-year-old was like, are we still on Earth? Like the kids just don't have context, right? But I stepped up and I did well and I got first place. And that's like my earliest memory of like doing a thing that was scary and then coming through and doing it and being great. And then my next memory, I had to have been around 7, a couple years later. There was this moment where we were singing You're Never Fully Dressed Without a Smile from Annie. We weren't singing it, we were dancing to it. So I was in this dance troupe and we were on stage and that was the song. And we were like lip syncing to it. We were like, you know, and we were doing a little like jazz routine. We were doing pirouettes. We were doing box steps. And we were in this theater and we were performing and it was like 30, not even that much. It was like 20 seconds, 10 seconds maybe, just right into the song where we were in the middle doing our thing. We were already pirouetting. We were already box stepping. The music cuts out. And I just had this moment of like, I got to save the show. Imagine being 7 years old and being like, I have to save the show. And so I just kept going and I started singing instead of lip syncing, right? Like we all knew the words. So all my other fellow dancers were looking around like, what are we going to do? We're all 7 and we have very little context for things. We're 7. And also what should we do because we're 7? And and I was like, let's go. Never fully dressed without a smiley or somebody, Bo Brumley, a mile. You know, you're never. Gosh, Kevin hates when I sing. How does that song go? Hey, Dapper Dan. There's a Dapper Dan in there. You all got your style, but Sonny, you're never fully dressed. A smile. Oh my gosh, you're so hairy. Just, every time I pick him up, just cat hair, just. But anyway, so I kept going, right? So I kept going with the dance, and then my fellow dancers were like, oh, okay, we're doing this. So then they all started singing, and then we just kept doing the dance, and then we finished, and we got this like roar of applause. And I remember we walked off stage, and like our parents gave us like the biggest hug ever. And it felt really good. I felt like I stepped up and I did something cool. And I was really proud of myself. A couple other instances of that. A couple years later, I want to say I was 11 or 12. I had moved to LA at that point. And a director friend of mine asked me to sing the national anthem at a gala. If there's one thing people in LA love, it's galas. Let's have a gala. Let's have a gala. Let's have a gala for this cause. Oh, is there a cause? Let's have a gala. Oh, does the cause need money from us? Okay, well, we'll give them money, but also we'll spend some more money on a gala. Let's have a gala. Love galas. Gala? 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 I don't know. It's one of those. So I showed up, and I remember I was super, super nervous because that's a very hard song to sing. And I had already sung it for the Dodgers and the Angels. Those are baseball teams. Dodgers and the Angels and the LA Sparks. So I'd already done it a couple times. But I wasn't, all of those times, I remember I kind of messed up a little bit, right? It wasn't like the most perfect performance. So I kind of still had that like, dang it, I'd love to nail it. I'd love to nail it. So I show up to this gala. Do not rub your face on the tripod, Kevin. Stop. And I'm super nervous. It's freezing cold. I remember I'm freezing cold. I'm starving. I have to pee. I'm going to pee myself. And I'm nervous. Worst combination, right? Freezing, hungry, cold, going to pee yourself. So not feeling good. But thankfully, I took care of some of those before I went on stage. But I was super nervous because there was a lot of celebrities there. And being only 12, I didn't recognize all of them, but I could tell that my parents were freaking the out. They're freaking out. Because they're like, oh my God. Like they were whispering to each other, like, oh my God. Like we were seeing people come into the gala. And they were losing their mind. I think they were trying to like keep it subtle, but like I could tell. I was like, oh my God, my mom's like freaking out. So I go on stage and I sing the national anthem and I nail it. I do a great job. I was so, so, so proud of myself. I think I did it a cappella, which is always hard. But I did it and I nailed it. And I walked off stage and the first person to tell me that I did an amazing job was Brendan Fraser. Pretty sure Brendan was first. It was either Brendan or Jimmy Smith. I think it was one of them. One of them got to me first, like before my parents, because they were already backstage. And I specifically remember Brendan Fraser. He like leaned down and he was just like, "You did so good. You should be so proud of yourself." And I'm like, "I've seen you on a Mummy billboard, but I'm still too young to see the movie." 12 is probably just fine to see that movie. I was a sheltered child. And then I was later told that Steven Spielberg was in the audience. And just the whole place was just full of like A-list celebrities. And I nailed it. And I totally nailed it. And I'm really proud of myself. And so many of them like came up and told me that I did a great job afterward. And it was just a really special moment. And I just that's another core memory. Well, I just remember the feeling of stepping off stage and being like, Kevin's so loud when he runs. I just remember that feeling of like happiness and satisfaction of just being so proud of myself. Especially for somebody who often is very self-critical. I've talked about this on the podcast a lot. I'm a perfectionist. I have anxiety. I'm very critical of myself. I have a hard time celebrating wins because in my mind, a win is what was supposed to happen. So let's move on to the next thing. right? It's like, oh, okay, I did the win that I worked toward. Okay, great. On to the next thing. I very rarely take a moment to like celebrate something that I've done. You know, like the fact that I've recorded 38 podcasts. That's insane. That's so insane. But to me, I'm just like, let's just crank them out. But people like Alex Hormozy are like, hey, by the way, only 1% of podcasters publish 21 episodes of a podcast. And I'm like, I did that. Like I did that. Like, good for me. Another one, there was definitely a couple all that moments that are similar in the sense that it was a lot of pressure, right? Like it was like a live event where like I couldn't mess up, like, you know, or like we had the live audience or like something. I do remember a couple, I'm not going to get into that right now, but you know, just whatever. A couple moments where I just remember that like the director was like, hey, you got to nail this. And then I did. And just the hugs and the congratulations and the good jobs afterward. And I'm just like, dang, I did a cool thing. Another one is at the Whiskey A Go-Go. My band played the Whiskey A Go-Go. Was it last year? Was it 2 years ago? I think it was last year. We were playing 2 nights in a row, and the first time, I'm a backup singer in my band, right? Like James is the lead singer. He stands in the middle of the stage. I kind of stand behind him to the left or the right, and I do my thing and I harmonize, but I'm a backup singer. We do more like duets now, but like then I was definitely like more backup singer. And we didn't have a chance to finish setting up our stuff before they were like, and now welcome, I have a microphone, now welcome Von Bolt to the stage. Yay. And then everyone's like, woo. James was still tethered to the side of the stage. He's the lead singer. He's supposed to be in the center of the stage, but he wasn't. He was stuck over on the side, like way to the side of the stage. And this was like our big moment, right? We were like at the Whiskey A Go-Go in LA. This is our big moment. We've rehearsed. We're so excited. We came all the way to LA for it. And now we just got announced. Everybody's clapping and the lead singer is stuck on the side of the stage. I have a wireless mic, but he is stuck on the side of the stage. So I have that moment where I'm like, I got to step it up. I got to save the show. Because who else is going to? He can't move. He's stuck over there. So I did. I wasn't used to being like the front man in the band. I was definitely comfortable kind of being in the shadows a little bit more. But that show pushed me to be a front man, to like command the audience like I'm Billy Joe Armstrong. Man, nobody commands an audience like him. Maybe Freddie Mercury. Ultimate crowd, you know, nobody can work the crowd like Freddie Mercury. So I had to like channel my inner Freddie and Billy and be like, okay, I got to take control. And I did. And I stepped up and I just put on like the best show that I could. I was, you know, dancing and singing out and posing and jumping on stuff. And I jumped up on the drum riser, which I got in trouble for later. Apparently you're not supposed to do that when it's like it was Doyle's drum riser, I guess. Doyle from the Misfits. It was kind of a big deal. And I jumped up on his thing and I kind of, it's totally fine. I didn't know. I was a noob. But that was another one of those moments. And then this last weekend is the most recent iteration of that, where especially Monday night, you know, I'm in that, just to bring it full circle, like again, I'm in the museum. Lemmy's 20 feet away. You know, we got all this memorabilia surrounding me. I had just learned all the lyrics to all these Misfit songs, and the crowd that was there was just so into it. Like they were singing every word. They were like drinking. They were jumping. They were crazy. They were like the best crowd you could ever ask for. One of those crowds where like, if I step up there and I mess up the words, they're going to know. But I didn't. I knew I nailed it. All the words, most of the notes. It's punk rock, so you don't have to nail every note. But just all of it from beginning to end was fairy tale. It was as perfect and great and wonderful as it could be. And I just woke up the next morning just like, how do I do that for the rest of my life? Like, how do I keep doing that? So it's these, for me at least, and everybody's different. Everybody's got their own things that bring them happiness. But for me at least, you know, earning a certain number in your paycheck is satisfying. And of course, like your family brings you happiness. And that's like the true root of happiness is your family and the people and your friends and the people who love you. And that's great. But I'm talking about when at the end of the day, all you have is yourself, right? You've always had yourself, and that's all you'll really, truly ever have. Even with your family, families leave, people die, and things go away, and things change. But you'll always have yourself. So you have to cherish these moments where you're proud of yourself, where you stepped up and you did something that was hard. That's why I love being in this band. You know, I remember 2 years ago, the first time I stepped on stage with them, I was terrified. And I'm like, what am I doing in a metal band? Like, what am I doing up here? Is it full imposter syndrome? Am I just pretending to be something I'm not? Yes, I love this type of music. Yes, I have this, dark sense of humor. And yes, it feels like me, but also this is so scary. It was so, so, so scary. And you take that first show, fast forward to like just this last weekend where it feels like home. I'm up there and I'm just owning it. I'm just loving it. And just those moments that you can look back on and be like, God, I did it. I did it. I stepped up. I'm John McClane. I'm Ellen Ripley. I'm Air Bud. I stepped up against all odds. I'm an unlikely hero. Yeah, I've failed many times, but it's those moments where you step up and you're the unlikely hero and you save the day. Those are the moments that make you feel alive. And I think that's the secret to happiness right there. I think it's about pushing yourself to be a hero on whatever scale. Small scale, big scale, you push yourself to do something you're not sure you can do. You do it anyway, and you come through. That's life right there. That's living life to the fullest. And I'm so all about that. I'm all about people achieving their full potential and just chasing it. So this wasn't really the yuck podcast that it usually is. We got a little deep, but I needed to. It's fun to reflect on these moments and to really take a second to appreciate it all. And obviously there's a lot of people involved in all of those moments that helped make them happen. And, obviously like the old dance competition stuff, like my parents were right there helping me train for these moments and helping me practice. I owe so much to the band we rehearse so much, it's all these moments. There's other people, there's other factors at play. But like I said, at the end of the day, all you have is yourself. All you have is yourself. And those moments where your heart is pounding and you're a little bit nervous and your adrenaline's going and you're not quite sure whether you can do it or not, those are the moments you need in your life. That's what you need. Think about something that scares you right now and think about how you can do it and just do it. Because we're all going to die one day. We're all going to look back and we're all going to say, I should have just done it. Because who cares what people think if you fail? Who cares what they think? They're already on to the next thing. They're going to forget about it. Who cares? This is your life. You step up and you achieve your potential because you only got one life and you only got one chance to do it. So do it. Go be Air Bud. Go forth and be Air Bud. That's all I got. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. Follow me on Spotify. Listen to my song that I just uploaded. Follow my band, Von Bolt. Like, subscribe. Hit me up on TikTok. Hit me up on Instagram. You guys are the best. Bye.
There be squalls ahead.
There be squirrels ahead?